class will ask you that whether you want to pay in cash or it will be through credit. So guy said that through credit. So he said that on a credit card already this credit is this much is there. So it's better you pay by cash. So he started abusing. So he said that you have been scolded by police. You have been, there are already 5 or 6 complaints are there. So it's better you control yourself. So see, I mean, it's a kind of with the mobile number only, that kind of data they could analyze and could tell you that these are there. So, but it is one step ahead, that the device planted in your blood cells and it is telling you on your handset that don't go for this sweet, and it will decide your diet, what you are going to eat in the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes will tell you. And then these polo t-shirts, see these kind of the t-shirts, these tech shirts they have developed. I mean, see in 2015 itself, streams distance covered, this t-shirt will tell you the distance you have covered and the streams distance covered, calories burned, movement intensity, heart rate, and other data to the wearer mobile device. Now, MI phones and all these smart watches, you know that in your walk you wear those wearable devices, and on your handset that application is there, and it will tell you that this much calories you have burnt, and these much more steps you need to walk, and what is your how fast and how slow you want to you need to walk. So all the polo t-shirts in 2015 they have come up with this heart rate and all your pulse rate and all this kind of data. Are we prepared for that? Are our engineers the kind of engineers, or these people we are producing, are they even ready to understand the data? I mean, that is the big question. Then comes this the Bolt, this their tennis racket. I mean, this racket itself, when you are playing with this racket, it will tell you, I mean, it will keep track of the each and everything, your ground, your this tennis track also, and then the kind of track it is, with what force you need to play, whether it is left hand, it's right hand, then how much delay you have used, and if you want to win with the opponent, the kind of opponent you are playing, then this much force you need to apply, whether it will be a kind of shot or it can be a simple movement. This kind of data, it will analyze the ball speed, spin, and impact location to improve your game. You see, it's a simple racket, and the kind of data it's providing you, it's amazing. So whether our curriculum is prepared for that or not, or still we are into that what we call in North India, Baba Adam ka, my notes are ready, and I am not going to leave those notes. My notebook is there. Okay. See, in computer science and engineering, we cannot survive, because things are changing so fast that it's very, I cannot tell my student that when I graduated, there was disk operating system, there was no Windows. I cannot tell my student, and there was no Windows and there was no Linux. No, you have to. And see, and it's not only computer science. Now computer science has just become a kind of, we say potato. That potato can fit in any vegetable, that aloo. And all other disciplines are the actual core engineering. And this aloo can be fit into anywhere. This potato can be fitted in anywhere. So that way we need to collaborate, and we need to do projects in a way that our students will learn. And I don't know how many institutes have permitted interdisciplinary projects, that's two students from mechanical, one from civil, one from electrical, and one from computer science. They all will come up with the final year project. So I don't know whether your curriculum permits you or not. These kind of things are there. But if we really want to cope up with the industry, because we always complain, and industries also complain, that we spend at least 1 year to unlearn, to delete from their mind whatever they have learned through their undergraduate degree. So, dear friends, it is really the time, and leave all other part of this COVID-19, but the opportunity it has given us, the kind of learning, and it's a wake-up call that we need to really wake up and look at our curriculum, and look at our implementation, and means this huge time we have to learn things, and then to unleash it to our students. And our students these days, I don't have any hesitation to say that the student in front of me in my class is 10 times better than me. Okay, the kind of this generation, the kind of potential they are 10 times better than me. Its only thing is that I have read that book maybe 10 years before or 1 year before them. And when they will read that book, they may come up with the 10 times better solution than me. But the only thing is, our duty now has become as a facilitator. We have to tell them that on Coursera or that Udemy, this particular video is there, this lecture is there, you go through that and then come up with this kind of tute or this kind of project. So these all are there. Now everybody is on, I think 60-70% world is on this Zoom. It's now running. And we here for last 5-6 years, my course files are on Google Classroom, already on Google Classroom. So whenever NBA teams comes, we open that and it's available there. Means if we as engineers are not doing that, we are not saving paper, we are not implementing that technology in our own work, day-to-day work, then how we can train our students also? So for me, it was only that earlier it was content management, Google Classroom, that all PPTs are there, all assignment statements I'll give there, and students will submit assignments there also, there only, and project also they will submit code, and each and every component they'll submit there only. And Google Classroom will take care of its plagiarism also. Means at least for 3 assignments, Google Classroom will take care of. On the basis of plagiarism, it will grade, and the rest of the content I'll grade. Okay, and then only thing is, in this COVID-19, I added one more component. It's available in your Gmail. Classroom is also available, and Gmeet is also available. So I used Gmeet and give the same class code to Gmeet. You can start delivering your lecture from your home, from your office. Let it be anywhere my students are there. So then, and this time is not going to over in a short span. It will take long time. People are telling, experts are telling that it may take longer period. So we need to take care of these all, and these this list is not exhaustive, but you can see, let it be it's lighting, it's a Metatronics, or it's a t-shirt, or it's a racket. You tell me the discipline, any engineering discipline, which is not touched by these. It's not that with tennis is now with the National Institute of Sports or Sports Academy, they will take care of. No, it's all engineering is also required here. See, ergonomic designs are completely the production engineering and mechanical engineering. They take care of that. And then the kind of force that physics is required, those forces are required, the kind of energy which will be there. So you need all type of experts in this. But again, we have the kind of certain walls we have created, that my discipline, my subject, my this, it will not survive. I can give you one example that presently I am doing one project. That project is with it's funded by MITTTR, Ministry of Information Technology. This project is with the ISC Bangalore, CDEC Pune, and Central Water Commission. This project is about predicting early warning system for flood prediction in Indian river basins. Now you see, it's a flood prediction. What a computer engineer has to do with that? It's a completely water resources project. Water resources people will take care of, because we have to design here a water reservoir. And water reservoir, if we have to design, my friends who are related to civil engineering will be more, they can throw light also, and they are more learned about this. So we have to design a water reservoir, and prior to water reservoir, there is a river area is there, that catchment area. In that catchment area, there can be plantation, there can be forest, there can be plain sand, there can be rocks, different kind of, or there can be some ice may be there, the different muddy area can be there. So their water consumption will be different. Now I have to design a smart reservoir so that it should not create flood. When I release water, you know that in Kerala or in Punjab, the last floods, they were just man created. They were not nature created. They were man created. Because it is the time when irrigation demand was there, that water demand was there, at that time water was not released, because they were not aware of that the kind of rain and monsoon will be there. So they wanted to keep that water with them for the future use. But then the rain was the kind of continuous, and it created, they had to release that water, and it created flood. So by that time, this project was there. And see, 2 civil engineers are there, one from GIS, the other is from water resources, and me as a computer engineer, another person from computer science. So we 4 are there. Now see, in this, one person will do PhD in computer science also. Two people will do PhD in civil engineering, one in water resources, one in GIS. The other will do in machine learning based prediction algorithms for that. So it is, otherwise I would have denied that it's a water resources project. I have nothing to do with that. But it is, dear friends, we have to understand, because it's not a water resources person that will do these all. But yes, I can make him understand the prediction algorithms, and then he can come up with the better design. So with this particular slide, I would tell you to introspect that to what extent we are prepared and our curriculum is prepared. Now, how it's going to impact? I mean, that's a huge impact on the world. I mean, you name the business, national and global, society, economy, individual. Means the most is individual, because it is the kind of work which will be available, the kind of employment which will be available, the kind of challenges which will be available. For that, we need to prepare our undergrads, our students. See, means impact on economy growth, and then the aging of the processes. I mean, you cannot say that 5 years down the line I was using this and today the same I will use. No, you can easily see the Nokia. And everybody had that Nokia. I mean, that was a kind of omnipresent, and now Nokia is nowhere. So the processes, if I mean, that aging effect will be there. Means you need to take care of these all with the kind of economy impact will be with this kind of industrial revolution. That will be huge. Then productivity, of course, it will improve. Employment, that will be also, there will be impact. And the nature of work. Somebody may argue that employment, it will create employment crisis, because everything will be done by machine, everything will be done by software. So then what will happen? Means, and you may say that I am biased because I am from a computer science background, but it is not true. You see, you see that in banking, in 90, I would say in 94, 95, there were banking trade unions on strike that they don't want IT in their banks. Means it will eat up their jobs and it will do what this will happen, that will happen. And the first project in India, the huge IT project, that was by the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, that railway reservation, that CRIS, Center for Railway Information System, they developed that. The first huge project was railway reservation. Now, earlier railway reservation was, means I know all my friends who are of my age or senior to me, they must be knowing that the huge task of railway reserving the berth without this IT. What was the situation? Like if I used to book a ticket from Patiala for Chennai, say, so that request will go from Patiala to Ambala, the railway division office, and from Ambala it will go to Delhi, and from Delhi there were only 12 clerks, railway reservation clerks, under one CSR, Chief Reservation Superintendent, CRS. Under that, 12 clerks were there who were taking care of all trains in the India. They will reserve that, and in the same reverse process, it will come back to me. And railway mail services at last wagon in the guard cabin, that railway mail, dark will go through that. Means you will come back after carrying out your journey, and then that confirmation of that berth will come to you. That was the situation. And now you see at every small station, there are railway reservation offices are there, and you need not to even go there. On your mobile handset, you can book. And still it has not eaten up the jobs. Rather, it has created more jobs. It has created ample of opportunities for that. And based upon that, and number of other industries, they are also means growing on the basis of that. And the same is with banking. You see now at present, these days, you go to bank, maybe not prior to COVID days, you go to bank and you ask for 5,000 cash with withdrawal form, and see the reaction on the guy who is there on the front desk. That the kind of reaction will be the way that you have abused them. Okay, but it is, they will simply ask you, go out, there's a ATM is there. Why don't you go there and withdraw? For 5,000 you are troubling me. I mean, that is that you are troubling them. It's their business, but you are troubling them. And earlier in 90s, they were on strike that they don't want this bloody IT in their business. Now you see the kind of revolution in that banking industry and where that jobs have been eaten up? No, not at all. The only thing is a poor guy who is 10, 20 years senior to me, who is about to retire there in the bank. Yes, he is troubled because he has not changed with the time and learned these all. So he is now the most troubled person because he has to take care of, physically take care of that cash. He is there on telephone. He has been put on that to accept the cash and to give the, disburse the cash. So because all others, he doesn't know to operate those all banking, core banking softwares. That's why that poor guy is handling the cash, which is the challenging task. So that way, to keep your jobs safe, to keep your jobs much easier and much, you can say much more productive, efficient, you need to change these all. You need these all technology interventions in your, technology interruptions in your work. So for that, we need to prepare. That's why the nature of work, the last point, that will change. It's not that it will create employment crisis. No, rather it will create employment opportunities, more opportunities. The only is the way, type of task that may change. And then is impact on the business. Impact on the business, of course, you see, like I told you in the last example only, that if you will go to the front desk clerk in the bank and ask for a 5,000 withdrawal, what will be the reaction? So that way, now if you are using this kind of technology, the expectation of your customer, of course, they'll increase manifold. And the kind of accuracy, the kind of productivity, the kind of time cycle they will expect, that within that much time you can produce this. Otherwise, industry 3.0, you cannot. So that way, they'll change. Then data enhanced products. You see that even in your campuses also, I have been to IIT Hyderabad, IIT Hyderabad, then COE Pune. So young boys and girls, they have their own startups and they are analyzing that data and they are coming up with the kind of really, really amazing solutions. I mean, the way, that's why that MHRD has come up with the Samadhan for COVID-19. During that, they have launched that competition for the students. So they are giving 1 lakh prize, I think, in that. 14th was the last date for that to take part. And first level screening has been already done. And from that, they have, I think, selected 50 projects. And out of that 50, they will screen to 20 now in the second round. And then they'll come. I mean, these young boys and girls, they are coming with the revolutionary kind of ideas. Maybe I, as a teacher, don't know about that. My teachers, they're head of the department, they don't know, but they are doing that kind of work. So that's what is data enhanced products. I mean, the kind of n number of companies will come, allied companies will come, who will handle data, will analyze data, and maybe based upon data, they may guide you how you can produce another product. So that kind of opportunities, they are there with the predictive kind of manufacturing and maintenance. Then collaborative innovation. I told you that I considered that example of that flood prediction also. And you can consider, means n number of projects in this. My adjacent wall is with the PGI. There is one postgraduate institute of medical education and research here in Chandigarh. It's just adjacent to PEC. So our many mechanical engineers, mechanical faculty, they are working with their orthopedics, their neurosurgeons. I myself, I am working with one of the clinical psychologists there, doctor is there, and with this thing, radiology department also, our teachers, we are working with them. So it is kind of, means in this, it will be collaborative innovation. So data is there. Some person is required to understand data. Means if I'll analyze that data, analyzed data, what summary report, whatever has been generated, who will understand it? If I will analyze the data of, say, stock market, if financial expert is not there to understand it, it's a really, means it's a zeros and ones for me. But it is a financial expert can come out with that and can predict what it is actually. So that way, means all streams, you forget that humanities are not part of this thing, engineering. They are really, really the core part of the engineering, and they need to be there for us, humanities, because we people have tried means our level best in last 10 years that I want to introduce this subject, I want to do this project, the core engineering, English is useless, this humanities organization behavior is useless, this is useless, that is useless. Because when it is the less number of courses, means more number of courses are there in the given time. So जो बोलते हैं ना कि गाज किस पे गिरेगी जाके, वो जाके humanities पे ही गिरती है, and they are the soft target, and we kick that subjects out, and then we face the problem. Okay, the present problem with we people are that we are producing engineers, but they are not human engineers. Okay, so human is, that is what is that humanity engineering. So means now it is, if you are aware of that, ICER Bhopal has started with a program in economic sciences. See, friends, economic sciences. How many of you agree that economics is also a science? And it is started by ICER Bhopal. And it was thanks to the director from IIT Kanpur, DK Singh, that he started that program there. And this program is really kind of the kind of feedback it's getting. I mean, it's equivalent to IIMs, it's getting the priority. Students are preferring in that way. So that's why that collaborative innovation and new models, they'll require that humanities also and the different kind of experts. So there will be only virtual walls. There will not be any physical wall. That physical walls we have to remove from our departments, from our institutes. Then only we can cope up with this industry 4.0, and then only we'll come up with the kind of curriculum which is required. Now you see, skills are same, almost same, which were required in 2015 and which will be required in 2020 onwards. In 2020 and onwards. First, we look at 2015. You see, vis-a-vis you can compare. First number is with the complex problem solving. That will remain same. Earlier also, we engineers, we were doing the same thing, complex problem solving, and now also it will remain there only. See, critical thinking was at number 4. But now here it is at number 2. Creativity was at number 10 because creativity was the task of only R&D department, and where all experienced people are there. That is their cup of tea, not the other kind of middle level or the entry level kind of. Creativity is not required there. But forget that. In Industry 4.0, now onwards, it is that creativity is also most preferred, the kind of the third skill. And now you see the companies which are visiting your campus, you see what they are doing is, means you all have seen in your campuses when companies are visiting, let it be it's Amazon, Microsoft, these companies when they are visiting, prior hand that shortlisting they are doing from their own campus. They are sending certain tests. Those tests are also in form of games. See, those students will play only games on their monitors. Those games are there, not knowing that their each and every move is being recorded. Their each and every movement, their cursor movement, their key presses, each and everything is being recorded through those games. Now those games are kind of that in those games also there is decision making. There is kind of that you have to accelerate the speed or you have to reduce the speed, or these kind of where you have to fire, where you have to kill, where you have to stop, where you have to pause. These all things are there in those games. And how much time you spent there in making that decision. And if you try to close your browser, minimize your browser, and try to Google something regarding that. So see, the kind of mindset you are carrying, they will know in prior to meeting you, they will know the kind of mindset, whether you are a fixed mindset or you are a growth mindset prior to that. And the kind of person you are, maybe more than 60%, up to 60%, they will be knowing prior to meeting you. And remember, friends, that you have Facebook, you have LinkedIn. So all these data, they are available. Your posts, your messages, your likes, your dislikes. Okay, the kind of posts you are putting there, what kind of what way they are impacting the society, or what kind of posts are impacting you and your reactions. All these will be analyzed before meeting you. And based upon those games, they will shortlist the candidates. Maybe out of 100, they will shortlist 50. And then there will be the psychometry test or analytical test. Based upon that, from 50, they'll shortlist to 60. Sorry, 50 to 25, or say 20. And then they'll come to the campus, and only 20 they will interview. For all these kind of, see, the kind of tests, the kind of games which have been created by these young minds. That's what is the creativity. So that's why that creativity will be also a kind of preferred kind of skill in each and every proposed employee, in the prospective employee. So that way, the vis-a-vis comparison with 2015 and 2020, and then people management. Earlier it was at say 3, 4 or that way. You can look at it this, and emotional intelligence, which was not at all there in 2015. Okay, but now emotional intelligence means we talked about this EQ in last 5 years. Earlier it was only IQ. Okay, we talked about EQ, but we didn't talk about emotional intelligence. Okay, how, to what extent you can understand the person without uttering even a single word. Okay, so that point of view, you need to understand, and you need to understand your students in a way, the way they are sitting in your class, their emotions, the way their behavior. Okay, it's not that means our duty is only to deliver that lecture about my CNC or that principle and these all, because if you want to produce human engineers, then you need to be a human being, and then you need to understand this emotional intelligence. That is also, I mean, it's not only for industry 4.0, it's very important for teachers also, for we people also. Judgment and decision making. Don't think that in industry 4.0, all decisions will be taken by machines only, or all the programs only. Your task will be more critical, much more critical as compared to the earlier. You see, the judgment in 2015 was at number 8, and now it is at number 7. So that kind of means earlier negotiation was considered as most important. Means the kind of means that's why our engineers, they prefer to go to management schools, because they teach you the negotiation. They tell you how to manage. So now negotiation is, you can say, it's not required. Your machine, your data, each and everything, they'll take care of that negotiation. You need to concentrate on the creativity. You need to concentrate on your complex problem solving and critical thinking. So that way, now we need to see that whether our curriculum will give these all skills to my engineers or not. My teachers, they are capable of these all or not. So they are thinking in terms of that or not. So challenges I have listed, but of course it is not an exhaustive list. Please excuse me, it's only to my mind which very few have come. So those only I have considered, the gap between theory and practice. So we all believe in theories, this theory, that theory, blah theory, that theorem, this theorem. So practice is very, very important, utmost importance in industry 4.0. Then comes breadth versus depth. Means if I am talking about, say, smart reservoir design, water reservoir design, if I am talking about that, so it's my breadth, it's not depth, because I don't know the parameters of water reservoir. All these parameters, my friend in water resources, he is aware of that. If I am talking about smart structures, I am not aware of that, but it is only the breadth knowledge which is required for a smart structure. In my applied mechanics 1 and 2, I did those all trusses and then all shear and bending movements from Ramamurtham. I have also learned that. So based upon that point, where is point of contraflexure and these all in applied mechanics, in our days it was there. In computer science and engineering in first year, these were there. But now computer science and engineer, they don't know what is applied mechanics, what is point of contraflexure and shear forces and bending movements. They don't know these all. So they don't know this thing, surveying and construction and door designs, and where you want to put sensors on door designs, that your civil guy who have studied Rangwala for door design, they know about that. So breadth versus depth, that is also there, where means it's not only that because whenever you will try to change the curriculum, there will be a lot of resistance, because civil guy will tell you that the structure is required, and if it is smart water distribution you want to introduce, now for years they are doing that water distribution, water management, and now you will tell them that there will be a sensor and you are to see that sensor values on your monitor. So no, not at all. Means you are to convince them, you have to make them understand that it is required. So that's what is the breadth versus depth, where Of course, civil engineering will remain civil engineering. Any computer engineer cannot teach civil engineering. Economics will remain economics. Any computer engineer cannot teach economics. Okay, if it is applied mechanics, that will remain applied mechanics. But you need to understand that how with the IT the things can be taken care of in a better way. So that also need to be taken care of. So, but that will be only possible that if breadth I have given to my students. If I have produced a civil engineer, okay, that civil engineer is very good, means excellent in bridge design, but he cannot understand the language of sensors, cannot understand the language of that data. So how my client who requires a bridge design from that civil engineer and want to tell about data, how the civil engineer will understand? It will be very difficult. Now, if they are talking about predictive maintenance, and my civil engineering guy who is expert in this bridge design don't understand artificial intelligence, don't understand that, but what is the prediction? How this prediction will take place? How that algorithm will executed? They are not aware of that. What kind of input will be there to that data, to that algorithm, and what kind of output it will generate? So that breadth is very, very important for that. I'll come to that. One sample structure I'll show you, and then I'll suggest you to come up with the certain similar kind of solutions for UG. Then relevance of known core subjects. Means always we have concentrated on core teaching, and we ignored the known core stuff. Okay, see, these days I am working on a subject on computational psychology. Okay, that psychology expert I need. That's why I went to PGI for a clinical psychology expert, and one professor from clinical psychology in Punjab University. Now you see what that psychology has to do with computer engineering, but it is required. Please see the curriculum of IIT Gandhinagar or IIT Hyderabad or IIT Bhilai. They have started, because these new IITs, they are doing really, really wonders in curriculum design. Okay, then CMU curriculum, you can just have a look on that. Certain further readings I have given in last. So relevance of known core and core, it's really, really important in this coming days. How do we tailor the curriculum based on individual potential? In my class, there is 120. How can I concentrate on individual capabilities? Okay, 120 class is already a challenge for me. Okay, I always complain to my director also, 120, it's a huge strength is there, blah, blah, blah. Evaluation is so difficult. This thing is very difficult. And then further task is individual potential. That's really, really means we say that, see, I have taught the class of 30. At Thapar, I was teaching class of 30 only. And days back, but now those days has gone. It's a class of 120 now. And I know that this class of 240, it's going to come. It will be there. It's not far away. So, but still we need to go through this individual potentials, and this individual potentials can be only explored with the help of technology. I'm telling you, that's why I said that you forget all bad things. The crisis, forget that. But this COVID-19 has given us the opportunity, and my civil guys also on Zoom, on Gmeet, they were not ready to deliver lectures on classroom, but all are ready. See, humanity people, they are ready. So that opportunity is there with the India now. And these tools will tell you about, with the analytics, what is the individual potential, whether one person is good in theory, in analytics, in design, in what kind of individual potentials are there. So based upon that, you are to give them the electives. You have to give them the curriculum based upon individual needs. Then comes, how do we make the curriculum interdisciplinary? That we have talked a lot about this. And then how do we increase industry interactions? How do we encourage industrial research in curriculum? See, industrial interaction is one model is that we have here, that full 1 week is dedicated for industry people. They come over in our campus, means for different disciplines, different industry experts, they come. The department has tie-ups with these all, but still I don't appreciate. Yes, it is better if you have nothing. It's better than that. Means from zero, it's always better. But how it can be improved, you see. Means at IIT Hyderabad, their chairman board of governor, he's an industrialist in Hyderabad. He offers a course on industrial management. It's 1.5 credit course. and in the institute auditorium or sitting in his industry itself. He delivers that lecture, he evaluates that everything. Chairman board of governors, friends, think of in our institutes how many chairman board of governors they even come to your meetings, and to what extent they participate in your accept your finances, where they participate, and to what extent they give inputs in curriculum, all these. But we are blessed. In our case, there was a chairman, past chairman of NASCOM. He was our chairman board of governors. He asked us to visit new IITs and certain other institutes also, and then come up with the Industry 4.0 curriculum also. So then I was given the challenge that I have